I want to follow up with this idea of like being uncomfortable. Successful, you, a successful surgeon, went into venture, started a number of firms, went into business school, lectured at business school at Harvard. And so you've done a number of these things, a number of very important pivots. And I want to talk to you about following your dream. Okay, I lectured at business school. I get asked by students, what should I do? Okay. And again, the students here, their dream is to be a physician, to be a surgeon. That dream may die, and they may have a new dream. So what is your advice to somebody young starting out who is following their dream, and then at some point in their life, they're like, this is now just a job. Like, this isn't what I thought it would be. Has that, maybe you can reflect on your own story. Has that happened? Did it happen retroactively where you realized it after you made the switch? Was it before the switch and you were looking? How did those inflection points in your own life look?
When you're young, you have a singular purpose. Initially, you want to be successful. We compete to get where we get. And then what happened to me is I realized that it wasn't burnout. Burnout, you know, at least for most physicians, a burnout component, especially in these days, with the way healthcare is going, is not a minor issue. It wasn't burnout. It was more a question of same old, and realizing that I put in words when I went to business school and they asked us, what do you want to accomplish? There were two things I wanted to do. One I think I did successfully and one I didn't do successfully. One was, how do I scale myself for the legacy and impact I want to have? It's unbelievably fulfilling to see talent, help that talent be successful and be part of that journey and know that that goes on past you. It's like being a parent. The other part was managing up. I wasn't too good at that. I'm still not very good at that because I don't have patience for meetings. And you know, having been vice chair for quality and safety at my institution, being passionate about what E. Emery Codman believed in, which was measuring outcomes and improving from what you measure. I started the Codman Shoulder Society for that reason. It's not a financially, you know, it's nothing financial. It's just a passion project that you might call a not-for-profit because I lose money doing it and time, but it's a passion to try to put his ideas forward. That's subjugated to the reality of the organizational imperatives of, you know, checking boxes to rise up in the rankings and have Vizient scores and all this other stuff for U.S. News and World Report and things of that nature, rather than putting the resources behind actually measuring what matters and making a difference because you do that. And Boston Shoulder Institute I created after working with Michael Porter as a transparent entity to show patients outcomes and risks of what they do, because that transparency, I think, is an imperative. And most major organizations don't do that. Cleveland Clinic does it very well, but most otherwise don't do it. So it's kind of, for me, this evolution of passion and purpose that is a very core level of how I feel and the enthusiasm I have every day when I get up, realizing that I didn't want to go to any more committee meetings. I didn't want to be that replaceable person that sits in the committee. I wanted to help the people that needed my counsel in doing these things, but I didn't need the title anymore. And having the ability to scale myself by influencing others, whether it's in an entrepreneurial endeavor or an innovative concept, or being more scientifically rigorous to scale your ideas. I mean, so many of my colleagues I know have brilliant surgeons, but don't know how to scale their ideas to make them transferable. That is sort of what I evolved in my passion. Why at this age, you know, I feel young in terms of that enthusiasm. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'd be thinking about my retirement now.
Cal Newport writes a book, you know, where the gist of it is 6 words, you know, slow down, do less, and focus on quality. And I wonder, like, in your day-to-day life, what do you value the most in terms of how do you spend your days now, maybe differently than you did maybe 10 years, 15 years, whatever it may be. And I myself have gone through a personal transformation of rethinking how I spend my time and valuing that time very differently than I did in my 40s.
So let me say this. I mean, the reality is that we, all of us, have a fiduciary or financial responsibility to be successful for our families. So your first and foremost thing is you need to provide a quality of life for your family. In the olden days in history, you know, the guy'd go out and hunt and bring home the mammoth meat or whatever it was and be cooked at the fire, and then everybody be happy because they were fed. It's the same kind of thing. It's your job to go out and produce. Then you have the luxury of wealth. You know, I think my daughter told me the other day, and I don't remember where it comes from. She gave me the quote. She said, money screams and wealth whispers. And the reality is, being successful financially gives you only one thing that you really need, which is time. The time to do what matters for you, and that gives you fulfillment. And for me, I've already told you about that. We're all going to the same place. We have a destination. We start and we end at different times, but we're all going to the same place. You don't take it with you. So the reality is, what freedom do you have to do all the things you talk about? To have quantum creativity, to be able to connect with people, to be able to scale yourself, to be able to think about innovation and learn, and then help other people in the process. For that, you need the comfort of not worrying about what you're getting paid. And that's just, I think that's just reality of it. It doesn't mean that people haven't been creative out there, but if you look at many artists who were incredibly creative, Picasso wasn't one of these guys. He was wealthy while he lived. But most artists became known, and their legacy was their wealth to their estate after, okay? So, you know, there's no illusion of that. The point is that I want to have influence because it's meaningful for me now to help others, and I have the financial resources to allow me to take that time to do it.